My name is Sanford Swanson. I know it's hard to believe with this baby face, but for 18 and a half years, I've been a police officer. And currently for the last 8.5 years, I've landed in West Lafayette, Indiana, where I get the privilege to raise my family alongside my wife. So in November, I was promoted to the rank of lieutenant within the police department. Currently, I'm a sergeant. In November, I accepted the promotion, and what it looked like, it was shiny, right? Glitz and glamour, high fives. It was a personal accomplishment. Every time you move up in an organization, there's a sense of accomplishment when you move up. And it was a measure of success, right? One of 5 lieutenants within the police department. So kind of top 10%, if you will. But what it looks like is not always what we envision. What it felt like, it was lonely, it was exhausting, and quite honestly, for me, in the way it was framed, it was unfulfilling. A little backstory. So, at least within our department, every shift has a lieutenant and a sergeant. It's kind of, if you think of captain, co-captain, lieutenant's a captain, sergeant's a co-captain. Lieutenant gets an opportunity to mentor the sergeant, build them up, and make them ready to make that leap at some point within their career. Shortly after I got promoted, I got a text message from my sergeant that says, "Can I tell you something?" Right? So I immediately picked up the phone and called. "What's up?" That's not a good segue into a healthy conversation. "I'm pregnant." Pause. "Congratulations. That's great for you," right? "I'm on light duty and I'm going to days." Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going, I don't have a sergeant. And so the way that the organization decided to deal with it or treat it was just ride it out until she gets back from maternity leave. She just had her baby last week. So that was 7 months ago. And so for 6 months, I was by myself. I was doing the work of 2 people. I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And so at 2 o'clock in the morning, when I need to bounce something off somebody, there's no one to bounce anything off of. That's where the lonely came in. It was exhausting, because like I said, I'm doing the job of 2 people. And so I had to create a have to and need to list. I have to get this, or excuse me, have to and want to list. I have to get this done. This needs to get done. I want to get this done, but everything on this list needs to get done first. And the wants to list was never completed, ever. And so that's where I was exhausting. It hit me once I took work home. I had to take payroll home one day. It was on a Saturday. I'm sitting on the couch, family's in bed, and I'm sitting here watching TV and doing payroll at the same time, and I've never done that. In 18 years, or 6 years of a supervisor, I've never taken payroll home. So as you can see, and it was exhausting, but the unfulfilling part was, I got to thinking back and I go, man, for the last 6 months, I can't think of one day where this position has brought me joy. And so I looked at myself and said, right now you're being a hypocrite. You're telling your kids, don't do things just to do things. Don't go through the motions. If this isn't bringing you joy, then why are you doing it? So I had to ask myself that very raw and real question. And so I talked to my wife, I talked to God, I prayed, and I went to my boss, went to the chief and said, "Can I have a conversation? Can I take a meeting with you?" And in that meeting, I made the bold move. I don't want it anymore. And I gave it back. And in business and policing, a lot of times, so, I'm on a SWAT team. And so we talk about taking that tactical ground. And once you've gained that ground, you maintain it, right? Once you take it, you own it, it's yours. But we also have what we call a tactical retreat, where we make the decision that it makes sense to step back, give it back to them because it makes sense for us. If not careful, we will work so hard that we will allow our grit to betray us. We'll grind until it's raw and there's nothing left, including the people who are most important to us, who have supported us, because we can turn around and they can be gone because we've worked so hard, we forgot to bring them along for the ride and make sure they were comfortable.